I was watching a Pegasus video and he mentioned about a story a while ago on how Frogan is on the run, and I find that absolutely hilarious. Now, I generally thought at this point, Frogan, as well as the others, which the others have been served, I thought they were all served at the same time. But I'm just finding out that Frogan is on the run from being served, and this is making me laugh because she's either hiding behind the sofa, that she's waddling into the next room, or she's just house hopping and hoping that no one finds her. I generally find all of this really funny, that Frogan was talking a massive big game and is literally hiding from getting served. It's absolutely hilarious. I generally think that she thinks that she is super smart. The court's trying to serve her. She's like, no, if they don't hand it to me, it expires within 14 days, and she's absolutely fine. And then she'll go back peddling her bullshit, saying stuff like, well, Ethan was this bad person all along, and just give that really fucking smug smile, thinking that she got away with it. It's fucking infuriating.
So before you can sue somebody, you have to serve them with the paperwork. Otherwise, they don't get notification, and they can make the argument, I just didn't know I was being sued. So Denon's giving her credit, the reason that her case is so much further along than Frogan, for instance, even though they're in the same court, is Denon's took service herself. So she was served in person, she accepted the personal service, and that was the end of that. We're going to see different types of services, and at the very end, I'm going to teach you something about the law and what type of services would exist. So, Denon's, credit to her, she didn't run away. Casey Tron was not served by her in person. Casey Tron had her dad served. So you don't need to serve the paperwork to the person. You just have to serve it and confirm that the person is living there. So there are many different types of services. There's personal service, substitute service, or mail service. So here we have an example of substitute service, which is leaving papers with someone of a suitable age at defendant's home. Suitable age would be Craig. That would be Casey Tron's dad. So Casey Tron still lives at home with her dad. And so you don't need to actually find Casey Tron at home. You could just find a adult over 18 that understands that they should relay the information and that can confirm that, yes, my daughter Casey Tron lives here. So that's how they served Casey Tron. Now
fair play to Denhams, who absolutely accepted it and didn't want to hide. But I generally thought they all had been served at the exact same time, from the way that they were talking about it, making videos, etc., etc. Even on Frogan's podcast, it felt like she had said, yeah, I've been served. It was just that kind of attitude she was giving. But generally, with the way that she was looking on that podcast, it wouldn't surprise me that she knew she was going into hiding and she was not accepting it, thinking that she's going to better the system in a way. When I saw this, I was generally surprised that they tried to serve her at 2:30 a.m. pretty much both days, and that's something where few people have been saying that this is when she's working, so she would be up, so this is the best time for her to be served. Even before hearing that, I generally thought that they were going to knock on the door, wake her up, so therefore she could actually be served and she would be at home sleeping.
This is a 5-story business-style apartment building that is secured by a locked door and intercom. Our subject name is not listed on the intercom list. No one was seen on the inside. I could not gain access. I decided to wait outside the front of the building until it was able to gain access by someone letting me in while they're leaving or arriving. At 3:15 a.m., I was able to gain access by following a resident or guest was leaving the building. I located where unit number 403 is. I can stand down the hallway and be able to stay out of unit by watch the unit without being too inconspicuous. At 4:30 a.m., at this time, nobody left or entered the unit. I stepped away and left the location without being noticed. No activity. Left at 4:30 a.m.
On the next day, we have the same thing. Now, all of this does feel like she knows this was happening and she would just generally hide. So we have other dates, as we can see here. On the 5th of the 7th, 2025, then we have at 2 a.m. and then on the 14th of the 7th, 2025, 6:12 p.m. And basically, it just says,
upon arrival, I was not able to gain access. The doors to the property were locked. I maintained my positions outside of that main main entrance sitting on a large planter. At 3:07 a.m., I was able to gain access. A resident was exiting the building. I proceeded to the elevator, where I took the elevator up to the 4th floor. I continued until I got to Unit 403. No movement was heard. I positioned myself down the hallway. I had a clear view of the front door, but was far enough away where I left would not be seen from anybody looking through the peephole. From 2:15 a.m. until 8 a.m. During this time there were no changes. No one was seen entering or exiting the unit. No one was seen in the hallway. I made an attempt where I walked up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and I placed a document on the ground saying delivery and stuff to wait. I waited alongside the hallway out of sight for approximately 10 minutes. No one came.
Now, we have the same thing on the 14th of the 7th, which is for Frogan, and basically you can see here.
Upon arrival, I could not gain access. The entrance to the building was locked. I positioned myself in front of the building, waiting for someone to enter or exit the property so I could gain access. At 2:12 p.m., I was able to gain access. I entered in after a resident was leaving with his dog. I proceeded to the 4th floor. I approached Unit 403 and I could hear a female voice talking. I could not tell what was being said, but it sounded like someone was giving their point of view. I stepped away and positioned myself in the hallway, far enough away as to not be seen by anyone within the unit looking out of the peephole. Throughout my time waiting, I could hear constant talking with brief moments of silence. At 6:12 p.m., I heard the doorknob of Unit 403 make noise and the door quickly opened. Stepping out was a darker female, possibly African American or Middle Eastern in her 40s, 5'6", 155 pibs. Dark, long curly hair with dark eyes. I ask her if she is Morgan, redacted. I said I have legal documents for you, and she said she is not Morgan. Taskner Morgan lived there, and she said no, that she has lived there for 6 years and there is no Morgan. I asked her if she would show her ID, showing that she is not Morgan, and she refused. I told her since she won't show her ID that I will be serving her. She refused to take the documents, so I placed them in front of her door. The female saw me place them there. She said, "I'm not Morgan, she can speak to the management."
Now, a few people have said that maybe they got the wrong person, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I find it weird that if they were able to get Casey as well as Denham's, then Frogan is an easy person to find. I also generally think that you would have a photo as well of the person, so you would be able to make that identity straight away without asking for ID. That to me would be pretty simple. You couldn't miss her. And also I think that you could have asked anyone in that building if they have seen this person living there. Again, if they said, yeah, she's a resident of this building, I think it would be fine. I'm just generally confused how you could have missed someone as big as Frogan. I mean, she is the 2-time rising star in that building. I guarantee that Frogan would have turned around and said, hey, if anyone comes asking about me with documents or whatever, please say that I'm not here.
You ain't seen me, right?
It generally wouldn't surprise me that she would lie to people to make herself look innocent in all of this when she's just fucking scummy as shit. Now, I'm generally confused. I know no one really wants to be sued, but you've been talking shit for such a long time that you think that you would want to get this out of the way so you can prove your innocence. But I generally think she wants this to expire, and as I said before, think it will expire after 14 days if they can't find her. She thinks she's better than absolutely everyone, and this is not going to work. You can't act like you're above people and then hide when the consequences come knocking on your door. You talk shit, you're going to have to pay the piper. All of this, I generally think, is funny because she just doesn't want to get sued. So another point I want to make on this, what about all that money she raises? If she's dodging absolutely everyone, then what would happen to that money? Would it be bad if she just kept it and just spent it on whatever she wants? Yeah, because no one's going to keep donating to her. And if she took that money and just didn't put it towards what it was for, I guarantee more and more videos would come out on her and her career would be completely over straight away. There's no coming back from this. But yeah, she probably will use the money for her rent, for all those big meals that she enjoys, and basically all she wants is a free ride. Now, I thought I would talk on this because I did find this interesting, because she thinks she's untouchable and she's hiding like a coward. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below in the comments and let's discuss. And while you're down there, why not hit the like button and subscribe, as I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year. So any help would be amazing. And with that, I'll leave it here.